on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see. All Around Town Radio Show. That's where I go for the latest band info. So All Around Town Radio Show for the music that comforts my soul. It's the All Around Town Radio Show. The All Around Town Radio.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the program. It's a weekend update time here at All Around Town Radio. We call it our Backstage Hall Pass on a Monday. Welcome to the program. Here's Mark Robinson.
It's the Weekend Review.
It is.
Top 5 are coming for you. Speaking with the fans, sometimes they don't show well. Whatever, man. We're coming, who's playing out?
All right. Let me get to this thing because I've got a lot to talk about today. We had a big weekend of music, and we certainly want to chat about it here at All Around Town Radio, your number one source for live local music, news, bands, venues, and more, and your home for everything music. Thanks for joining us today, people. It's good to see you all out there. Ed Sawicki in the house, still editing photos from yesterday. No doubt you had a lot of them. You did. Yeah, I was looking to share that earlier, but I'll share them once you get them posted up, Ed, for sure, and we'll get them on our page so everybody can get a good taste of that. We got Carrie's on just a little bit ago that popped up, so you get a chance to see what happened about what we're going to talk about today as well. And Bonnie Kirchner, thanks for being here. Rick Kern in the house. Blackbone Cat is represented in the Eagles Project. Glad to see Eagles Project coming to Austin Landing this summer to play Pickle Fest. That's going to be fun. That's a huge crowd up there for that event. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. All right, Gina McCann in the house, the lovely Gina McCann with the voice like butter with cayenne pepper. How are you, Gina? Thanks for being here. Hi, Mark. Thanks for joining me today. Stephen Bell, good to have you with us yesterday. I got to thank you, man, again and again for being there in support of what we were doing yesterday. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Ray Renee in the house. How you doing, Ray? Steve Stein joining us. Got a lot of people checking in today. If you're out there, say hi, guys. If you're new to the show, tell us where you're from. We'd love to hear from you. What else we got? Rob Paisley on the YouTube channel checking in. Bob Klein, happy Monday to you as well. Look at all these folks checking in today. It's good to have you with us. Jeff Vance is with me. I was with Jeff all day yesterday. I hope your feet aren't too sore, Jeff. Mine are killing me. They are. Anybody else that worked yesterday's event feet sore? How about it? Just throw me a vote out there. Good day, Don Hudson. Hello, Hollywood in the house. My good buddy Hollywood. We had a blast yesterday working together. What's up, Jim McCarthy? I missed you yesterday, Jim McCarthy. I did. George Orr, how are you? Diana in the house. How are you? I still have a voice after yesterday. Yes, I do. It's amazing because, boy, did I have to do a lot of talking yesterday. And I only had a third of the script. Imagine if I had it all. Yeah, it was crazy. And Jeff's still sleeping it off. There we go. And we're not talking about alcohol either, are we? We're just talking about work, hard work yesterday. Jeff, you did a remarkable job. Thank you for what you did. We'll talk about that here as we get to that event in the comments section. Hey, Alan's Art Images. Thank you. Randy from Classic Jam in the house. Good to have you with us. Thanks for joining us today. Jason Hughes also. God, look at all these people, guys. I got to get going. Chris Coondog Cooney in the house and Bob Klein. First time, long time. Yeah. That's right. Long-time listener, first-time caller, Bob Klein. Got to have you back on the show again. That was fun that day, even though you did look like a red something out of Star Trek, but it was all right. We'll get it going here. Welcome to the broadcast, guys. The broadcast vlog, podcast, you call it whatever you want. I'll call it whatever I want. We want to thank you all for Thursday's show, though. If you were with us on Thursday, I will tell you that, my goodness, you guys shared it. You shared the heck out of Thursday's show, the Who's Playing Out. It worked really well. We had over 4.1 thousand views on that show. Thanks for the shares, people. It's sharing that makes it caring. And you really helped out all those musicians and venues that we like to talk about and why we're here to support live local music. Tom Braun, thank you for being with us today. Guys, I've got a lot to talk about, like I said. So let me tell you this. You can follow us on all the socials. I want to remind you of that if you haven't yet, just in case something ever happens to our Book of Face account. You can follow us on YouTube, okay, at All Around Town. We are on Instagram as well at All Around Town Radio. And we just posted our first video or reel to TikTok the other day. So there, I've stepped into the kid world. I am a juvenile delinquent now on TikTok. And yes, and our YouTube channel has some extra content. You can go back and do some of our older podcasts and things that we had on there. It's good stuff. So check it out if you will. Our weekly programming here at All Around Town Radio is every Thursday. We feature Who's Playing Out. We mentioned that just a minute ago. Every Wednesday with the band. This Wednesday at 5 p.m., we're bringing you the band Drive. We're going to learn about them and talk about Drive. So join us for that one. And then Tuesday, the infamous, the ever popular, the ever hated Hot Topic Tuesday, Spreading Joy and Judgment with Karis and Scott. And you got to join that one. It's so much fun. And we have a blast with that. And, it's fun. Remember that, people. It's fun. Send us all your complaints. We laugh at them. Thanks. So, yeah, that's what's going on at All Around Town Radio. And if you'd have a topic you'd like us to talk about on here, please send it to us. And we'll throw it out there to the folks that do these shows with us and see if they're interested in jumping on it and making it one of our topics of the week, especially our Hot Topic Tuesday. So this week in music for us, and I'm looking for you to pop up here. If anybody's out there, please say hi today. We'd love to hear from you. Daniel Bryant, thank you for being here. He says aloha. Aloha, Daniel. And I do have one more thing I have to say today, and it's important that you guys understand this, and this is our legalese that we have to say, and it is that the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers. And that means speaker today, that's me, and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of our sponsors or any other entities that they represent. We call it our weekend update here on Monday, and that's what we're bringing you today. So last week on Wednesday with the band, we had Tim Butterfield and Todd Buck on sharing their expertise in show production. And boy, that show, we had a lot of viewers on that, a lot of people commenting. It was a great show. And thank you for supporting that, guys, and being a part of that, if you will. And, we love the support we get out of you, especially when we see so many questions roll in on the shows and people are asking about it. That means you're watching it, and that means that you're a part of what we're trying to prove and do here. So hello, Deviate in the house, or Deviate, or Deviate, however you like to say it. Deviate's with us. So that was our Wednesday on the show. Thursday, of course, we brought you Who's Playing Out. Like I said, 4.1 thousand views on that. Thank you for that, guys. I'm proud of that. And we got to get those numbers back to where we were before COVID. We were at 5,000 or so. And we're slowly climbing back. We are. But Thursday night, took in a band that I'd only seen briefly at Austin Landing, actually playing an event there. It's called Classic Jam. And had a chance to see them at Mr. Burroughs Tavern on Thursday night. Hello, Doug Drew. How are you? Thanks for checking in. Dave Wade in the house. What's up, Dave Wade? Speaking of Deviate and Dreamboat Annie fame, both of them. That Classic Jam band, guys, I only got to catch their Stones set. They do a Rolling Stones set at Mr. Burroughs. So I didn't really get a whole picture of the band. So I can't really report too much on them, other than the fact that they were having fun. The crowd was having fun. The band was absolutely on point. I mean, they're playing the songs, doing their thing. Lead singer in the band, certainly a flamboyant guy. He's putting on a good show. He was doing his inner Mick Jagger and having some fun with that. And the crowd at Burroughs seemed to be enjoying their night there, and that's what counts. Now, I will say, I got to throw it out there, and I always do if it was loud. And I know a lot of people at Burroughs because I do trivia there and things like that. Many of them mentioned, man, I like these guys, but it's just too damn loud. So that's just one thing that you got to look at that audience sometimes. And it's hard when I don't know if they were running sound from the stage or they had a sound man in the audience. I wasn't there long enough to pay attention to that, but I will say that it was a wee bit loud in the room, and I was in the back of the room. So keep that in mind. But everything else, though, fun night. I can't go over all the songs they did because frankly, I was in and out of there, like I said, in about 45 minutes, and had a chance to know that they were Rolling Stones tunes that I was hearing, and I liked it. I enjoyed it and had fun with it. So if you haven't followed them yet, take a look at them. They're Classic Jam on the Book of Face, and check them out and see where they're playing. If you like Rolling Stones, certainly that second set they did was good. I came in right at the end when they were taking a break on the first set, so didn't get a chance to hear much. Thank you, Zach Taylor. I'll throw that up in the comments there and leave it for folks to see. If you're out there, guys, please make comments. We'd love to hear from you today. I'd love to know what your weekend was like and who's with us. Dewey Cole in the house. How you doing, Dewey? Thanks for being here. Happy President's Day. A little holiday for some people today. It was. And hopefully you're enjoying your day. Some sunny weather out there. It's starting to get a little warmer today. I like that, for real. So to recap, Classic Jam, again, good sized band, good stuff, nice sound. Chris Coondog Cooney is on here. He was playing the bass and doing some fun stuff that night, and certainly had a whole lot of folks there to see them. You could tell they had an audience of people who came specifically to see that band, and that's always good for a venue, to bring new folks into the venue that you're playing and do that. And they seem to be enjoying themselves immensely on the stage. So I hope to catch a full show of them sometime soon and be able to give you a full report, but I can't do it justice until I do, other than the fact that, yeah, I saw Rolling Stones and he was doing the mic, man. He has the mic down. He got the mic down. He does. Hi, Toy. Thanks for being here. Chris Lee. Thank you. Stephanie Sutherland. Thank you. I'll talk about you here in just a few minutes. Colleen, thanks for being here. Good to see you. So that was Thursday night. I want to hit on Friday night for a minute. And here's one thing I'd like you to do, guys. Anytime we talk about people on the show, please, if you can, it doesn't cost you a dime. It does, and they're not going to blow up your feed. Go hit the follow button on these people that we're talking about, like Classic Jam. And if we say something about them, please hit that follow button and give them a little bit of love. And this guy here, I want you to give a lot of love to today, because he's got 350 followers at this point. He's new to the music scene, but I'm going to tell you, it is Benny Hill, and not the Benny Hill for some of you old folks that you know on TV, but he was at Crooked Handle. It's Benny Hill Music One, Benny Hill Music One, all together on Facebook if you want to follow him after the show. But let me tell you, we went to Firebirds at Austin Landing to have a little happy hour dinner, and left there and went, because it was snowing to beat hell outside. We went to Crooked Handle, which is about 3 minutes from the house, and went over to Crooked Handle and got a chance to hear Benny Hill. Always wanted to catch his show, and got a chance to catch him. And man, am I glad I did. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'll get to some of your comments real quick here, guys, and then I got to talk about Benny. Hello, Blevins. Thanks for being here. Hollywood, thank you so much. And yes, he said Linus Tate and Joe Cole's both at Hamilton's Urban Backyard this weekend. I saw the pictures from that. Look great. Hello, Michelle. What's going on? I'm Scotty again. Thanks. Chuck, thank you for being here. I'll leave that up there. And he said a very cool place. Yeah. Immortal Vibes. Thank you for that, Chuck. I'll leave that up for just a minute so folks can see it. And I want to talk about Benny Hill, man. And Benny Hill, what a voice. What a voice this young man has. And he's a young man. I mean, he's not a kid by any way, shape, or form. But his voice, the arrangements he put into songs and put his own touch on these songs blew me away. It was just phenomenal. And I don't take those terms lightly when I say those kind of things about people. Benny Hill is a force to be reckoned with, guys. If you haven't seen him play yet, and he's fairly new and doesn't play a lot, if he wants to play a lot, he's going to. I mean, if he wants to book a lot, it's going to happen when people hear him, because I couldn't get over how good this guy was. And Hollywood, you're out there. Take note of that name too. I'll ship that information to you, but take note of that name. He'd be a perfect fit at your place as well. And thank you, Chris Lee, that he got to see Kyla Manus. All right. She is a fantastic singer. Love hearing her. And really a talented young lady up there on the stage as well, Kyla Manus. So I want to give you some of the songs that he did and people that he touched in music that night. He did Cody Johnson. He did some country stuff. He did other things. Cody Johnson song, Proud Mary, he blew me away with. Heard it through the grapevine. Did his own cut on Fast Car, which is hugely popular right now. Again, obviously with the Luke Combs, Tracy Chapman, collaboration, especially was on TV. I did a Jelly Roll tune, Allman Brothers, Midnight Rider. He did the Cover Me Up tune that Jason Isbell wrote and did. And of course, other people have done that. One thing that stood out to me though, and a lot of bands and a lot of solo artists do Simple Man. They sing Simple Man, but his arrangement on it and his voice, he's a force. I'm telling you, he killed it. That was an incredible version of Simple Man that I've only heard one more version of that done as a cover by somebody in a bar that was even remotely close to that. And he absolutely nailed it. He did some Zach Brown music, Amy Winehouse, Valerie, Al Green, Let's Stay Together. He threw that in the mix. He doesn't give himself enough credit. He always says, I'm new at this and all that. He doesn't give himself enough credit. From what I understand, the backstory is during COVID, and he was locked up basically like a lot of us, he learned to play the guitar. And since then, he's accomplished. I mean, he's doing his thing. I'm a huge fan, killer voice. Like I said, 350 followers. Hit that follow button on him, Benny Hill Music 1. And let's give him a bunch of views today. Let's give him a bunch of followers today if we can, and let him know we talked about him, if you will, because he's a super nice guy. Very enjoyable. You see the pictures of it on our page. We posted them today as well. So let me roll on through here and get to some of this other stuff. We're going to talk about Saturday being an off day. And then on Sunday. Yeah, boy, we lost some people there on the live. We just went from like 50 live to 35 in a second. Sorry, did I say something to piss people off? I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe they just like the nice day out there. What's going on, Corona? Good to see you yesterday. And Ed says done. Thank you, Ed, for doing that. I appreciate it. So took the day off Saturday to prep for an all-day event on Sunday. And as most of you know, if you followed our page, we have been talking about it. We participated in the Ken Anderson Alliance Autism Rocks event at Lori's Roadhouse yesterday. Early morning call, about 7 a.m., get everything rolling and ready and all those things. And interestingly enough, here's a good backstory before we get into the day. Lori's Roadhouse had 2 back-to-back national acts, Friday and Saturday night. Their staff worked till 3 a.m. both nights, basically, and they were in there on Sunday morning to get that place open and ready for this big event yesterday. Hats off to them, because you could tell they were dragging when they came in there, but when the lights came up, the smiles came on. The bartenders were fantastic. Their servers, everybody at Lori's Roadhouse, they deserve an immense amount of props for being able to pull that off after basically a two-night party there that was huge. So really a good group of people. Hello, Carrie. Thanks for being here, and thanks for sharing those pictures with us today. We appreciate it. So started off in the morning at Lori's Roadhouse with Jeff Vance, who was our sound man, production man, light guy, gaff taper. He had a dozen jobs that day. Started off with Jeff, Kelly in the house, who was doing door management for bands coming in and doing all those things, getting them ready to go onto the stage on time. My good buddy Hollywood, who, we had a blast working together on the stage all day long. And he's the one that I'll say he got me through the day. We had fun laughing and enjoying the music and all the things that we like to do together. But he was such a huge help to this event, and being a part of that and making sure people were ready to go. And it's when you put on an event like this, I don't care who you are, where it is, anytime you have multiple acts, it is a difficult thing to pull off. For the sound engineer and the stage management folks, because bands are like herding cats. I'm just going to say that. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Bands are like herding a bunch of cats. They go everywhere, and it's like, are you going to get all together on stage here? We got to get the sound. We need to know where you are. And we learned some valuable lessons yesterday about some things that, certainly need to improve in that aspect. But we were on time, except for the first act.
And the first act went on maybe 10 minutes late, but we made up for it throughout the day, and we got back on track after the second act, and it was all good all day long. And, you know, the first band, I hate to say, always is the one that has to deal with the sound check thing, sort of. Even if they get there early enough to do a big sound check, all that, you got to get it dialed in with people in the room. So that's an interesting fact that goes on at all these events. And thank you, Hollywood. Very rewarding. Long day. Yes, it was a long day. It was an extremely long day. And Stephanie said, amazingly organized. Thank you for that, Stephanie. I'm glad to hear that because we were trying hard. We were to make that day successful and work. I want to talk about, before I get into the total parts of the band and everybody else doing production and all that, I want to talk about the Doors went on at 11. The silent auction for this event. The last time I looked at it, gosh, I think it was like at $50,000 or something to that effect total. That is amazing. They had some of the best prizes you could ever imagine. I mean, there was this cool leg lamp, you know, the leg lamp from the Christmas Story movie, but it was a orange stocking with a football cleat on it, signed by Money Mac, Evan McPherson from the Bengals. This was the coolest thing in the whole auction all day, I think, and it was going for some good money. So lots of great auction items. Whoever put that together, and I was so busy, I didn't get a chance to get names, guys, but I know Ken Anderson's wife, Christy, was involved in that and all that. But there was a big bourbon raffle that went on as well that was huge, and I just made a ton of money. Lots of great things there. And the 50-50 raffle, first one we gave away, gosh, was $790 or something. That was the split. Second one was 500 and something, which is huge. People buying those tickets. And the lady who won the second one gave it all back, which is just amazing. We got to say thanks to her. I don't have her name. I wish I did. But again, if you were around the stage, you know how hectic it was with everything we had. And some of the things somebody said to me, there's a lot of talking going on between bands. Yes, there was. There was a couple of reasons for that. Number one, obviously there has to be time to change the stage over. Number two, it's a fundraising event, so we got to mention a lot of things and a lot of people who gave to the event. And number three is it was a TV production also. So you may not have known that even if you were there. This whole thing was live streamed. It wasn't just on the big LED screens. This thing was live streamed to multiple platforms and a cable channel and everything else. And I got to give a shout out to the guys from ITA Audio, ITA Productions. Man, they come in, they do it, and they did a great job with that. So hats off to them. And what a great collaboration with that group. And Nico and his company there do a wonderful job of making that video work. And that video is out there online as well. You know, and one thing you got to remember if you're an announcer to a thing like that is turn your mic off. We had a couple times there where, you know, just the stage conversations when you're setting bands up and things don't need to go out over the air, but you got to remember that a little bit. But we did well with that yesterday. And the bands, let's talk about the bands. Jeff Beccaro and Ken Anderson, both my co-hosts that day, did a remarkable job as they always do. Jeff's an ESPN host and show host, and Ken obviously has an immense amount of public speaking experience. So we had a blast working with each other, and we play off each other all day long, and each person has their job and what they're doing. Mine's kind of the music side of the whole thing, and theirs is more the fundraising side. We had a lot of check presentations yesterday. One, our friends from Santa's Goodie Bag Band, who was great. Audrey's Frogtown Tavern, who came up and gave money. Empath for Autism as well. Lots of people giving big checks and donations. So that was fun as well. But I want to talk about the music. That's what we talk about on the show. And let's chat about the music here if we can. And what else? I want to get to a couple comments real quick before I get into the music, because I'm going to go on a roll here. Yes, DV8 crushed it at Turfway Friday. And yes, thank you, George, for that. And he said Autism Rocks at Fretboard had amazing bands as well. Thank you for that. And Greg Stroop said if you need an additional sound tech, thank you, Greg. All right. Yeah, there's there's a lot that goes into this, and stage plots and all those things that are backdoor lingo to these concert events and bringing multiple acts in for fundraisers and such. And those all have to be done and accomplished ahead of time. Jeff Vance, an amazing job yesterday. Steve from Don't Tell Steve, I'll tell you what, if it weren't for you, you saved our ass in the morning, pardon my French. But you did by helping out, because we were in the weeds there getting things ready to go. And as it is at any of those events I've ever worked, this is nothing new. Getting things on time and being ready to start on time and all that when everybody wants to chat and do those things. So it really worked out that Steve was there with the first band, which is Don't Tell Steve. And I'm just going to say, Don't Tell Steve, hot performance, man. They brought a lot of people with them. Usually the noon slot is not the biggest because people are, rolling out of bed. They're getting there late, doing all those things. Don't Tell Steve blew them away. I mean, they from the first note that they hit, the first vocal that Stephanie did till the finish of their set, which unfortunately we had to cut a song out for them to get back on time. But and I hated that. I hated to have to do that because we had to be on time for the TV stuff and all the videos and things they needed to bring in and all those things on that TV show. So it was, if you found us to be a little over the top on timing yesterday, that's why. And I got to say, Don't Tell Steve is a fantastic band who absolutely, it should be on your list of bands to go see. I mean, they're wonderful people and they have a great following. And thank you, Steve. Appreciate you, man. And Hollywood giving you a shout out there too. Said totally awesome. Mario, as he was being referred to, and Luigi. Yes. And Jeff said Steve was awesome to have on hand. Yeah, Steve did a great job, and we needed that extra set of hands there in the morning. We did, and Marianne said, sad to miss the earlier bands. Yeah, you missed a great show at the beginning, let me tell you. And Stephanie Sutherland, who followed Don't Tell Steve, said Stephanie's a great vocalist and was nice to meet her briefly. Yeah, and definitely go see Don't Tell Steve. They're a blast. They're a good band and fun. So shout out to them. I'm not going to get into the songs anybody did or any of that other than maybe mention a few here and there, but they kicked it off. They do their stuff with Bruno Mars, and they know how to party. They're a party band, and they get the crowd up and dancing, and the crowd was dancing at noon. So if you get the crowd up and dancing at noon, you're doing well. And that was a hit to kick off with. And don't know if I'd have started with Don't Tell Steve if it was my decision, but I'll just say that out loud. Sometimes that they needed to be later in the day, I think, just for the party. But then we had Finding Melissa. Let me move on to that. Finding Melissa. Stephanie Sutherland, who's on here, was in this band. She's new to this Finding Melissa thing. It's a trio. And Ken and Melissa and Stephanie. The harmonies were spot on. Jeff, you really had them dialed in too. Really some good sound there for them. And, the crowd enjoyed it. They weren't the party band. Obviously, they're a three-piece. They were singing some great tunes that people relate to. And everybody that I talked to liked their music. And, it's tough sometimes to get an acoustic act. And Autism Rock's Ken Anderson and then wanted an acoustic act to play that day. And I knew Finding Melissa and thought, well, let's give them a shot. And I'm glad we did. I'm glad we put them on the stage and had that opportunity. And Hollywood said Finding Melissa had me sold at the Dawkins song. Yes. And they did a great job with that. And I said that to somebody. I was walking through the crowd and they looked at me and they thumbs up Finding Melissa. I said, Dawkins, do you believe that? And they're like, oh, I love it. So that's cool stuff. And just great harmonies between the two ladies. And of course, Ken playing the guitar, and it's a good trio, guys. It is. Again, another band for you to hit that follow button on or that like button on their page and do that. Finding Melissa. Now, Stephanie is in White Knuckle Weekend, and then we have Melissa and Ken that are in More Than Zero as well. So there's some other bands and spinoffs there as well. Kara, thank you for the Benny Hill music link there. I appreciate that very much. Have you seen Benny before, Kara? I hope so. And yes, if you had comments, guys, if you were there yesterday, I want to hear your take on yesterday and what you thought about it. We need to hear from you for sure. And because I know some of you out there were there, and I want to hear your take on it on the show too, as we roll through the rest of this here. We got a few more minutes left. Okay. Then a new band to me, Hijacked. Never had I seen them. Frankly, I'll tell you, until we did the live show with introducing the event, I didn't know about them. And Hijacked was good. They did a great job. And two ladies up front singing, rocked it out. The band was technically wonderful. Young guitarist who was extremely nice. Talked to him after they were on the setup there. Extremely nice. And they were so easy to work with, too, on the stage. And I always appreciate a band who understands there's a lot of moving parts to an event like this. Just chill a minute and we'll get the sound up. You'll get your monitor the way you want it and all those things. And everybody wants to fix it. So, I'm not trying to say we had any sound problems because we really didn't all day long. But, anytime you bring a new band up, I can't hear myself in this and I can't, you hear that happen at a lot of events. So they were very patient and good. Thank you, Glenn. Great time yesterday, he said. And Kara says she hasn't seen Benny. Thanks for that link, though, Kara. I appreciate you dropping that in the comment. And Hijack, yeah, and it's not jacked. I kept wanting to say hijacked. It's hijack. And Hollywood said very polite as well. I agree. And Stephanie said they had a nice set list. Yeah, it was a good, it was a good bar band. I'm going to say that. They're a kind of band that I would go out and sit in the night spot and listen to them play and enjoy watching and all those kind of things, because they had a lot of animation on the stage, a lot of movement, a lot of good stuff. And what they played, it was fun. And thank you for being here on the show today. How do you say that? Monet? I think it is. That's the way I keep saying it wrong, Monet. But yes, thank you so much. And thank you and Ken Anderson Alliance for a wonderful day as well. And thank you, Marianne. I appreciate you as well. It was always good. It's always good to see Marianne because she makes me smile when she dances in front of the stage. She's one of those people who just enjoys herself being out and enjoying the crowd and all those things. So thank you, Marianne. You're a great supporter of All Around Town Radio as well. And those of you who wore our apparel yesterday, thank you so much for that. I can't thank you enough for supporting us a little bit. So Hijacked, thumbs up, man. Go see him. Go see him. Hijack. Why do I keep saying jacked? Because I want to. Because we hijacked an airplane. But no. Yeah, hijack. Like a hijack on a Jeep. Maybe. Something like that. Absolutely. Ryan Higgins, what's he got? He said, thanks to all the people who came out to the Battle of the Bands. Thank you, Ryan. Sorry we didn't make that one, but great stuff. A lot of bands in that one I saw. All right. Let me move on. Stone Mountain Mafia next. Brett Brock and company. I will tell you, these are old crusty players. I'm going to say that out loud. They are. I told Brett, he says, those guys, some of them are grumpy old men. I'm just going to say it. But we had fun with them. And Dan and Brett, I see them play once in a while together. They're wonderful people. And it was good. And if I can just get Brett to quit sticking the microphone down in the monitor, we'll be good. And we had a good day. And no, thank you guys so much. They bring you the basic Southern rock style. They do. They brought the Southern rock to the stage with, the Molly Hatchet songs, the Leonard Skinner songs, all those that they bring in there. And if you've ever seen Brett, he looks like somebody who's played rock and roll his whole life. He's got the hair. He's got it all going on. And the band's tight. They're very tight band. Good leads in that. Great guitar work in Stone Mountain Mafia. So again, another band. And Marianne says Brett's one of the nicest guys I know. Brett's always super nice. He is. He's one of the greatest guys. His drummer got mad at me because I asked him to quit banging on the drums while we were doing some announcements. But that's all right. It happens. It happens. And Danielle said they were honored. Hijack in the house. There we go. Thank you, Danielle. It was great to hear you guys and finally get to see you play. Like I said, I've never, ever seen them play before. So it was the first one. And Hollywood said Molly Hatchet beat the odds. Yeah. And one thing I love, one song out of Stone Mountain Mafia set is Highway Song. I just love that song. Even when Brett and Danny are together, I ask them to play that anytime I see them. That's a great tune. And they slayed it. They did a great job as well. So Stone Mountain Mafia in there, CFG and the family, Casey Gomez and group there, Mason, Greg, Pete. Amazing band coming off their trip to Memphis where they were in the International Blues Challenge and finished in the top 5. I'll keep saying that. They say top 6. I say top 5, maybe even top 4. They were awesome. And they brought the blues to the stage in a funky kind of style. It's funky blues, man, that they do. And it's so good. And they are so relatable and such humble cats, really good people. CFG and the family, if you've not checked them out, please do. And hey, is Dan with me? Is Dan with me, Devin? Where is he? Is Dan there? Because here's Dan.
Great question, Scott.
Thank you, Dan.
Great question, Scott.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. All right. Karis is in the house, my co-host with the most for tomorrow. Thank you. I got to finish this up, though, guys. I'm running long here. Let me get to it. CFG and the family. Can I say anything else about them? I've talked about them you guys know them. They're great. Again, another band. Hit the follow, like button on their page. Do that. CFG and the family. They've had a bunch of them since they went to Memphis. And I had a chance to be up there with Mr. Hollywood. He got the chance to announce his band because he's kind of managing them now and doing his thing. And we appreciate that. Appreciate you being there, Hollywood, again, for a great day in the house at Lori's Roadhouse. I got to be quick here, though, guys. The Whammies got the Aquanet and spandex out, man, and we were doing the 80s. The Whammies always put on a fun show. They had the crowd dancing and having fun. Everything they play takes me back to my Utes when I was watching MTV. In the house, and they do, and their stage props and all the things that they have there are just absolutely killer. So thank you to the Whammies as well and their 80s show. You guys all know the Whammies. They've been around a lot of years and in different formats and different band members and that. I think their current band right now is the best I've ever heard them play, and they are just in it to win it. And great band. 80s. If you like 80s MTV music, they do it and do it very, very well. And they were good to work with, too. I got to say that. They were a band that was extremely accommodating with all the equipment they have and things they have to set up. And they rolled in there, and they're pros. They know what they're doing. They get it done. And we were on time with them as well. And Benny Hill, thank you so much. Hope you're getting some follows on your page today. And we're asking some folks to go to your page and follow it. But there's Benny Hill Music, guys. You can kick that link right there. You can hit his little icon and go like his page, if you will, after the show. Please stay with me for a minute, though. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate you giving me that. You were busy, man, at the phone booth and everywhere else. And Marianne said CFG and the Whammies slayed it as well. They did. Great things. But I want to finish with this. And this was what the whole day was about. And I will tell you, Stephanie, thank you so much. I'm looking at comments, guys. I'm going to try to finish this up here if I can. But thank you for the comments. Keep them coming. I'll read them later if I don't get them on the air here today. And thank you, Todd. I'll take a peek at that one, too, in just a little bit from Liars for Hire. Thank you so much. Let me get the final part of this done. Melodic Connection. Melodic Connection is a group of disabled individuals who go every day or 5 days a week to Ken Anderson Alliance, and they take music. I don't even want to use the term therapy. It's music education, and it is enriching their lives. And let me tell you, to stand there and watch this makes an entire day of foot pain and work go away, because Melodic Connection is what this whole thing is about. The people that are winning from the donations going to the Ken Anderson Alliance, they do wonderful things for wonderful people and families of those who are developmentally disabled. And I just want to say that watching that group of, and it's not even young people, it's a variety of people. It's young to old who are up there, and the folks who teach their classes and support them, and they're music educators, put together a wonderful concert. The smiles were from end to end of the stage. The entire front of the stage, go look at some of the pictures. The entire front of the stage was covered with a percussion section that's probably 15, 20 people on the stage. They're all having a good time. We had Slash up there playing the guitar, I think. The singers, it was a blast. to watch. And I lived to watch Melodic Connection every time I get to see them. They're fantastic. I saw them at the Riding and Rocking for Autism when I helped host that. Really, really some cool stuff. And big shout out to what Ken Anderson Alliance does. And if that doesn't bring a tear to your eye a little bit, you're not human. I'm telling you, you're not human. You're not. Diana, thank you for that. Yeah, wasn't that full of love, the dance floor, when all the parents and everybody there to see them came out? So much joy, and it's just so cool. Marianne, thank you for that as well. And it's so good. It is. And Jim Kilroy was there. And, you know, Jim, I looked over at you. I saw you standing against one of the pillars there in the place. And he said I had a hard time holding back the tears. Yeah. Isn't that great? I mean, that's what it's all about. And it's about love and caring, and screw the people who want to make drama and everything else. This is about giving to people who need it. And it's so cool. And it's just so cool. Such a great event. Lori's Roadhouse staff, amazing. Christian, the manager, I can't say enough good things about him. He is so accommodating and just a good guy. He's hanging banners and doing so. I mean, he was involved in the setup. And they're all tired. I mean, they're all worn out from working 2 nights straight till 3 a.m, but they're there and they're giving back too. So wonderful things. Fundraising efforts, the bourbon raffle, the split the pots, the give back. Mary from Nothing But Bunt Cakes. She won the guitar in the bidding war that we had going up front for it, that was signed by all the performers and everybody. So yeah, so cool. Such a cool event. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. If you weren't there, be there next year. Be there next year. And no matter what you do, support people who love and help others, because that's just so important. And, I don't get paid a dime to do that show. I'm going to tell you that right up front. That is not a paying gig for me. I get paid to do events like that, but that is one I will never ask for a dime for, because it means something to me. It means something to everybody. And it's just a good bunch of people. And Colleen said, watch the video. So awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Hollywood said, definitely made. And if anybody didn't stay till the end, you missed out. Those that did stay, they know what I'm talking about. Melodic Connection just wraps up that whole day. And, Ken Anderson, I told a story yesterday on stage. I'll tell it as we go out here one more time. Last year at the event, a lady came up. Ken and I were standing there waiting to go up and make announcements. And the lady came up and she said, Ken Anderson, I want to shake your hand. She goes, God bless you for what you do for my son. He's up there in the orange t-shirt and he was playing with Melodic Connections. And I saw Ken get a little tear in his eye, and it was really touching. It was so cool. And just a wonderful, wonderful event. And Brett Brock, thank you so much. And yes, yes, Brett Brock. And I wasn't talking drama with your band, if that's what you think I was talking about just drama and people alone who always want to keyboard warrior everybody and pick on people who are trying to do good things for people in life. And Sharon, thank you for being here. And Benny Hill Music, Corona says, love your name. There you go. And Sharon, thank you. Thank you so much. The guys, I'm out of here. We've run way late today. Tomorrow is our wonderful Tuesday show, Hot Topic Tuesday with Karis and Scott. Spreading joy and judgment. I'll spread joy. She'll spread judgment, or vice versa. We'll bring it to you tomorrow live at 5. Until then, guys, let's take a little break today, and we'll get out the rest of the week and see live local music. I think that's how it ought to work, at least. So thank you so much. I'm trying to hit something up here. We're going to get out of here with our theme song again, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching All Around Town Radio, everybody. It's been a pleasure to have you with us today. Bye-bye for now.
Working for the weekend, then I want to see a show. I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man on there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community with great advice. I know who I should go see. So all around town radio show is where I go for the latest planned info. So all around town radio show for the music that comforts my soul. It's the All Around Town Radio